What is going on, guys? We are back. It's been a while. Got another episode of the Sports Brotherhood coming to you.
Ow!
Got some NBA talk. So, Isaac, you've got some good things that you want to discuss. The NBA season tipping off. So, with that, what do you got for us?
Of course, NBA Brotherhood. I just want to welcome everybody back for the tip off of the 17-18 NBA season.
Yes,
Um,
Lord.
of course, the off season is my favorite time, right behind the NBA playoffs in terms of the portions that I like the most about the NBA. Believe we had equal or the most All Stars actually change teams here in the off season, so that kind of helped time fly by a little bit. Um, but we got to give a little introduction to Timothy. Go ahead, and introduce yourself, where you're at once again.
You know what it is, big man, big man from the block, big AKA Teddy Bear, most lovable, I'm just kidding. long, long walks along the beach, and
All right,
but
come
no,
save
I'm
it for your
excited,
save it.
man. I've been stoked for this.
Hey,
I don't know what else to say. Let's
hey,
get
Timmy, save it for your Tinder profile, okay, man.
Well,
Let's
we're on
get
a time crunch.
let's get this moving. All right, guys. We have the beginnings of the genesis of the NBA season coming up. What are just two or three things that you are keeping an eye on, and kind of that you're focusing on? What about? Let's start with you first, Richie.
Two things I'm keeping an eye on. Obviously, Golden State. I'm huge Golden State fan. That's my number one thing. Just seeing as how that team continues to evolve. I think that there's a chance this year. I know it sounds like, oh, yeah, of course, but I think they can beat their record of 73 wins. I really do. And then number two, I'm kind of cheating here, but I'm lumping all three. I'm lumping Cleveland, OKC, and Houston all together. Obviously, all three of those teams made huge moves. I'm very curious to see how the chemistry of those teams is going to work. I think one of them is going to work pretty well, and I think the other two might not work so well. But it's still gonna result in regular season success. We just got to see what happens with the playoffs. So,
Wait, before you transition from there, which two do you not see working out that well?
I don't think Houston and I don't think OKC are going
Ooh,
to. I
well,
mean, I can see them
haters,
being like I said, they're
haters.
going to do well in the regular season, but um, I don't know. I just I don't think real life, the reason that Golden State works out so well is because everybody has such a defined role and everybody's so good at doing it that I think the macro look of, hey, let's just throw good players together. I think it sounds really good when you're playing fantasy, when you're doing 2K and stuff like that. But I don't always think that those results generate on the floor in the real world. I could be totally wrong because you can't deny the talent that Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, Isaiah Thomas when healthy, Derrick Rose, all those players, there's no denying it. I think the Cavs will work out pretty well in the East, but there's just question marks on Houston and OKC.
Okay.
mhm.
All right, young Timmy Warren. What are your thoughts over there, my man?
See, I'm more excited to see OKC number one because it reminds me of like a trichotomy, I guess you could say, of Miami Heat, and you're gonna have two playmakers on the perimeter, but you're gonna have that shooter, which was Chris Bosh. But we know Melo gonna get his. Okay, I don't give a damn what anybody says. Melo gonna eat this year. Yeah, nobody's ready for this. Okay, I think they're gonna surprise a lot of teams, but I definitely see them a top three pick or top three seed in the West, and also another thing that I'm interested to keep my eye on is the injury bug, because I mean I want to say Philadelphia alone, but their whole team is full of like just people who are just not, I guess, efficient with staying consistent playing on the floor. And it's just an injury bug thing is I'm scared of the most for Lonzo Ball and the rest of the Lakers as well. But we'll see how it goes. Ugh. Ugh.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, Oklahoma City roll out their own death lineup of Roberson, Anthony. Of course, you have George, and then also Adams at five. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Um, but in terms for myself, I want to see Kyrie kind of step up,
Mm-hmm.
playoffs of
Yes.
over 50 wins. That's what I want to see, and
I
I
don't
feel
think that's
like
happening.
I think
Just saying.
he's going to have his most efficient season. I feel,
He will
Agreed.
and I
absolutely.
feel the
Mm-hmm.
ball movement, the spacing, everything you need. You even have defenders everywhere at every position to kind of help him out. So he can at least give intellect and the level of defensive honesty that it takes to at least be on Steph Curry's level on that end of the court to not hurt your team.
He's finally playing in an actual offense. Tyronn Lue didn't run an offense.
Preach.
Sure.
Preach.
Brad Stevens runs an offense. So that's a great point. I'm totally excited for Kyrie.
Huge into analytics over in Boston, so they're going to look at the spots on the court where he kind of flourishes, and get him a lot of more actions coming off ball into those areas of the floor. I also want to see his assist numbers reach at least 6 a game. I think that he can do it in this system.
Well, he's been
and I think that does he really?
Yeah, he has. Mm-hmm. I promise.
I'd 5. My bad.
I'd say 6 bare minimum. I'd put him even up to 8.
8, yeah.
Eight would be the high side. But this will definitely be a defining season in terms of how we feel about Kyrie Irving, just as his legacy as a player altogether. When we look back and say, well, he was completely overrated. He hit one big shot. LeBron got him to the finish line, and he kind of just crossed it. Whatever. But
quick question: Who averages more assists, Lonzo Ball or Kyrie?
It's Lonzo.
Lonzo.
Next question.
Interesting.
But my second portion of what I want to see this season is actually James Harden and Chris Paul together as that 2-engine system. You had a few cylinders in an engine. You threw a few more cylinders in it. I can't wait to see it run with Chris Paul because we got to see Jeremy Lin flourish in a D'Antoni system. So the fact that you have this 2-headed point guard monster, so I can kind of just envision it in my mind in terms of James Harden breaking a defense down, penetrating, and him swinging the ball to a wide open Chris Paul, to which the defense has to rotate, and some big man is running out helplessly to the 3-point line to guard Chris Paul. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I think that it can work vice versa. Chris Paul receiving the ball while the defense is off balance, and James Harden receiving the ball while the defense is completely off balance. And I think that it is going to be absolutely havoc. But I also want to welcome Chris Paul for probably joining the modern-day NBA in terms of being a point guard who will shoot a lot more threes and a lot more for himself. And I think the system will actually force him to do so. So more threes, more pace, more possessions per game. I want to see it all from Chris Paul this year in terms of walking into modern NBA basketball and not being that traditional setup guy. But that'll be all for this little segment that we have here. Did you fellas have any more little bits and pieces that you felt you wanted to add and chip in on here?
Man, I'm just waiting for LeBron to guard Kyrie. I'll wait for that chase down block.
Oh yeah, I want to see. Cleveland is up 1, and there's 10 seconds left in the game, and LeBron and Kyrie get switched on each other, and you're just like, while watching Twitter and screening past all the porn that you happen to follow on Twitter too.
Also, I'm ready for that the show out that's gonna go down. The Lakers versus Clippers, the battle of the point guards. Milos is a beast, man.
I love Milos.
That boy, man.
It's all good. It's all good.
Mila Maestro.
I got one quick thing on Houston real quick. So the one thing that I'm worried about with Houston, I already mentioned the whole chemistry thing, but Chris Paul and his injuries, I think playing in that high, not high pace, well, I'll say high pace. That's very poorly worded, but you get what I'm coming from. That high of a octane offense, I guess, his usage rate, all that stuff. I couldn't tell you the last time he's played a full 82, so I'm curious to see how that's going to work. And if he does miss extended time, do they still have Patrick Beverley? They got rid of him too.
No, he's gone.
Clippers.
Who's their backup at point?
For
just
Houston?
Somebody, just
Eric
nobody.
Gordon.
Eric Gordon? All right, yeah, that's not bad.
Well, I don't know.
But yeah,
he's
that's
probably
all I
gonna
got.
have majority of the ball handling responsibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Houston. I like Chris Paul, and I agree with what you were saying as far as him kind of being more shoot first, but we'll see.
Not sold.
It's you don't have to be sold, man, because you saw those Kevin McHale, comments kind of go back and forth between him and Harden. And
Yes.
I don't really know what the uproar is about. You're not a leader, James Harden. You're just a damn good fucking player,
right?
True.
But leaders don't go 2 for 11 and foul out with Kawhi Leonard not even on the other side. I don't want to hear that crap, dude.
Exactly. Fragile.
He quits. He quit that game. He quits, and that's all. We don't really have to elaborate on that because everyone who watches the NBA knows exactly what happened in that series. But that's going to be it for right now, guys. Get to knock things out here tomorrow. We'll probably have at least 2 more segments coming for you guys. I want you guys to all enjoy the tip-off, but we probably got at least a little bit more stuff coming because there's a lot to discuss here in the NBA Brotherhood. But I got a Third Eye Blind concert to catch.
I want something else to get me through this.
How's it gonna be?
I'm just curious to how's it gonna be actually.
It's gonna be
I'm just really interested. I just hope there's not at least like one jumper that jumps off the building of the concert. We will get back to you tomorrow, though, Brotherhood. We want to thank you for joining us once again and enjoy the tip off of the NBA season.
Yep.
Deuce.